Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. Joan Vassos, the Golden Bachelorette, claimed that she is working to enhance her mental health after admitting that her new life with her fiancé, Chalk Chappell, is stressful. Joan and Chalk got engaged at the end of the Golden Bachelorette Season 1, but they elected to keep their homes in Maryland and Kansas, resulting in a long-distance engagement. Joan recently admitted that her post-show life has added new stressors to her life, albeit she did not explain what they were. Joan went on to explain that the activities were so fun. They're kind of hard. Are better than I am, but it's a nice way to start the day and a wonderful bonding experience for my kid and me. We sit here, and I believe whoever does better feels smarter the rest of the day. Her daughter concurred, saying, "Oh, for sure." They also joked about Joan's son-in-law being the greatest at the games and turning it into a competition. As Joan struggles with the stress of life after the Golden Bachelorette, it's encouraging to see that she's working to enhance her brain health by playing New York Times games with her family. It's a wonderful way for them all to push themselves in the morning and keep their minds fresh. They're also bonding with one another, which is wonderful to observe. Joan, 62, is doing everything she can to maintain her physical and mental health. This is really important, particularly when coping with stress. It's great to see Joan and her daughter have made a game out of enhancing their brain health by tackling these New York Times riddles. I believe Joan and her daughter will stick to their new strategy since it is enjoyable now that it has been turned into a competition. Joan can remain smart as she enters her senior years as a dynamic and energetic woman. I'm delighted Joan is doing what she can to keep her brain healthy. Stress can be hard on the body, and she will continue to experience it until she and Chalk find a permanent home. I think it's amazing that Joan's daughter is assisting her in staying mentally healthy, and I hope the Golden Bachelorette stars continue to provide updates on their progress. After the finale of the Golden Bachelorette, Joan Vassos stood on stage with a smile that masked 1,000 swirling emotions. Her engagement to Chalk Chappell, a warm-hearted and thoughtful suitor from Kansas, had captured the hearts of viewers across the country. Their connection had blossomed on national television, two individuals in their 60s who had dared to open their hearts to love again. But as the cameras stopped rolling and the real world took over, Joan found herself navigating unfamiliar territory. The euphoria of the show had faded, and what remained was a complicated, long-distance engagement and the intense spotlight that came with being a reality television figure. Joan, who had built a quiet life in Maryland prior to joining the show, now found herself pulled in several directions. Between the media obligations, constant public interest, and her efforts to sustain a cross-state relationship, the stress began to creep in. Though she did not elaborate on all the stressors, her recent comments hinted at how deeply the new lifestyle was affecting her. "There's been a lot going on," she shared during a recent interview. "It's not just about love. It's about adjusting to a new reality, and sometimes that can be overwhelming." Still, Joan remained determined to maintain her balance, both mentally and physically. At 62, she understood the importance of caring for herself on all levels. One of her most effective, and unexpectedly joyful, tools had become playing New York Times brain games with her daughter. Each morning, they would sit together, often with coffee in hand, and dive into the daily Wordle, connections, spelling bee, and other games. The ritual not only challenged their minds but also brought them closer. "They're kind of hard," Joan admitted with a chuckle. "But they're fun. My daughter is usually better than me, but it's a nice way to start the day. We're competing in a healthy way, and it's something we genuinely look forward to." Her daughter chimed in, laughing, "Oh, for sure. But don't forget, it's my husband who usually wins." The dynamic was lighthearted, playful, and grounded, a reminder that no matter how chaotic life became, Joan could find peace and purpose in these small moments with her family. The games had become more than just entertainment. For Joan, they were therapy. A way to keep her brain sharp, her mood uplifted, and her bonds with loved ones strong. It was especially important now, as she faced the emotional toll of her relationship with Chalk being long distance. Though their love remained genuine, neither had been able to uproot their lives to relocate permanently. Chalk's roots ran deep in Kansas, where he lived near his grandchildren and still worked part-time on his family's land. Joan, meanwhile, had deep ties in Maryland, where her daughter, grandchildren, and close-knit community offered a strong support system. They had agreed early on to try a long-distance engagement, thinking it would buy them time to plan a future together. But weeks turned into months, and the distance began to wear on them. Video calls and weekend visits could only do so much. Joan had hoped the engagement would feel more romantic, more exciting. Instead, it often felt like a logistical puzzle. And while she remained hopeful, she admitted that the stress was real. "I think what people don't always see after the show ends is how complicated things get," she said in a recent podcast appearance. "It's not like we move into a fairy tale castle. We go back to real life, and that means making hard choices." One of those choices included prioritizing her mental health. It was a subject Joan had always taken seriously, especially after the loss of her husband years prior. But now, in this new chapter of life, it was more critical than ever. The media attention added another layer of stress. Every public outing was photographed. Every social media post was scrutinized. Fans wanted updates, and critics speculated about cracks in her engagement. Joan had never sought fame, and though she appreciated the platform the show gave her to inspire others, she found it difficult to adjust to the lack of privacy. Her phone buzzed constantly with alerts. Her inbox filled with questions and opinions from strangers. At times, it was too much. To cope, Joan developed a routine. Mornings were sacred. She began each day with a walk, no matter the weather. The fresh air helped clear her head. Sometimes she'd walk with her daughter or a friend, but often she went alone, letting her thoughts wander. After the walk, it was brain game time, her new favorite part of the day. That half hour of challenge and laughter centered her. It reminded her of what really mattered. As she continued to play the games, Joan noticed subtle improvements in her focus and memory. She felt sharper, more alert. "It's like stretching your brain before you stretch your body," she said. "And doing it with someone you love? That's the best part." Her daughter agreed, noting how much the ritual had brought them together. "We talk more now. Not just about the games but about life. It's been amazing." Chalk, too, occasionally joined in during their virtual calls. Though he wasn't a fan of all the games, he did enjoy a friendly wordly battle now and then. It was their way of staying connected, even when hundreds of miles apart. Joan found comfort in those moments, though she wished there were more of them. The distance, she admitted, was starting to feel permanent. Thanks for watching. If you likes this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do not miss any update.